Hey everybody, welcome to Scarland, Sins of Shelzar, episode 22, I think? Night of Chronicles part 2. Sorry for the late start. It's been a day. We had a insurrection-free transition of power today. I hesitate to say peaceful because, we had some unrest a couple weeks back, but so far, democracy has held up, so yay, everybody. Congratulations to the new people in power. Make sure you spend the next 4 years holding their feet to the fire and dragging them as far left as humanly possible. So before we get too far into it, I do want to make sure that I let everyone know so I don't do some dumb shit and forget to let everyone know that Youngman's Guide to Gelspad Complete Edition is out in its advanced PDF today at DriveThruRPG. So if you've already picked up 4 or more of the previous chapters, you should have gotten a free copy of that sent to you already by DriveThruRPG. If you have not picked up any of it previously or picked up less than 4 chapters of it, you can go over to DriveThruRPG right now, get advanced PDF. It'll be in an errata phase for a couple weeks while you go through enjoying the new rules, such as the 21 new social backgrounds, 23 new subclasses, 6 new races, revised rules for Hollow Legionnaires, spells, true rituals, magic items, and the People's Appendix, which I'm super proud of, which is alternate rules for peoples and heritages as opposed to race as a mechanic. You can go through, enjoy all those, make notes of what you feel might be some errata, and send those in to us. Then once I get all that compiled, we'll be putting out the final version of the PDF and a print-on-demand version, so that's exciting. It's up at DriveThruRPG right now, and the link I just threw in chat. Go pick it up. Tell all your friends to pick it up. Leave lovely ratings and reviews. If you enjoy it, tell everyone you know about it, and if you don't like it, then that is time for quiet contemplation, I suppose, about your tastes. So when last we met, our intrepid adventurers were in the city of Leone. They had started looking into some various things. Tan and Rowan, her new compatriot, one might say hookup, I think is probably a fair way to put it, had gone off to the Charduni church to look into these markings on her, and which is where she will be, as Tori is unable to be with us at the moment. So we'll just draw the curtain on that and have that going on off camera. The rest of the party, with the exception of Charlon, who has been working on some getting some tattoo stuff together, if I'm not mistaken, the rest of the party, except for Charlon and Haiku, had, at the behest of Jean, gone off and hunted down this blade beast that had escaped from the Hunter's library, killing one of the librarians, severely wounding another one of the librarians. They went and hunted it down and had just gotten done basically defeating it. Is that a correct, accurate representation of what you all remember? Yes? And then yes. Haiku, while they were doing that, Haiku was off murdering the sole survivor of the previous encounter with the Blade Beast. Unbeknownst
sometimes that's what you gotta do.
To everyone in the party except for, I believe, Aland. Yes? Does that bring us up to speed? Am I missing anyone or anything? Where's
me and Breck were out shopping.
Alan and Breck were shopping. Right. That's correct. And Alan had picked up some adamantine, was what you wound up going with, right?
Yes.
And Breck was getting supplies together for locate creature tattoos.
Yeah, talking to bards. We went to one tent. They weren't there, so I think we found a bard.
Mm-hmm.
You knew the spell. And
yes.
then I need to look for supplies. That's possible scrolls.
Yes. So we'll pick things up out with the group that was fighting the Blade Beast. The Blade Beast was destroyed, and when it died, it burst forth a stack of various weapons and left sort of this puddle of imagine like a basically liquefied flesh. Flesh that had been heated up to the point where it's in more of like a plasmatic state than it is in like a solid state. Though it's not so hot that you can't like scoop it up. It is runny. It's gooey skin, pretty much, surrounding these weapons. And Lulu is still enlarged and will be for about 30 seconds until the spell wears off, at which point he returns back to normal. So what would you all like to do out there with the corpse of this Blade Beast and the various weapons that dropped forth from it?
Well, Lulu would like to see if there's any cool-looking weapons that she would use, and then she would also grab one for Alan.
Okay. There's a ton of cool-looking weapons that you would use. Doesn't look like there's much in the way of like bludgeoning weapons, which is what Alan normally uses. But if you wanted to get her something that was bladed, that is certainly an option for you.
Anything that looks really fancy because she likes metalwork. So, like, anything that's, like, just extra.
Okay, so you're looking for the most extra weapon that's in there. Sure. You see there is a sword. It looks like it's a rapier. And it's not so much the blade, though the blade looks incredibly well crafted and almost supernaturally sharp and pointed. The handlework is extremely ornate, and one might say you have never seen its equal. And there's something about this blade that looks, maybe it's the way the light dances off the edge of it. Maybe it's just the way it sits. You're not quite sure, but it definitely sticks out head and shoulders in terms of aesthetically above everything else that was stuck in this Blade Beast. That is an option. There's also several short swords and long swords. A couple of daggers of varying quality and ornateness, and you see there's also like a halberd, and the halberd is like a 8 foot or about a 6 foot long pole that's got about 2 feet of blade at the end of it that sort of recurves upward, and carved along the side of that blade are various runes. So that's pretty much what falls out of it, is that collection of items.
Would the runes mean anything to me?
That depends. Do you speak Ancient Lydian? Or does anyone there speak Ancient Lydian?
I do! Yes! It came in handy!
Absolutely. It says, Madriel guide these strikes in Ancient Lydian. Let's go ahead and make a religion check if you don't mind.
D20. Oh, yes, I get to know something.
Awesome. Them dices is on fire today. So you're pretty sure that is an inscription that's commonly used in a magical weapon known as a Spear of the Redeemer.
As long as nobody else cares, I'm just probably going to take that because that sounds pretty cool. Also, I have a halberd, and I'm just already connected with the one I can read.
That's fair. Yeah,
I don't want to mess up anybody else's stuff.
I wouldn't mind having the rapier. That's my main handheld weapon. I would mostly don't do that, but it's nice to have something on hand.
Okay, I'm not going to take it from someone who participated in the battle. Is there something else I could give to Alan that's nice looking?
A couple of the daggers look promising and very well crafted. And while they may be a little small for what Alan normally wields, it never hurts to have a holdout weapon.
Okay, I'll get her a fancy dagger. If anything, she can melt it down and change it. But I'm sure that observing the craftsmanship is probably something that somebody in the industry appreciates.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a jerk.
No, you're totally fine. Nope, totally fine. I just wanted to bring Alan something because I participated in watching her have a feelings moment. So it's I hope you feel better.
What is the rapier? What's the plus on it?
So the rapier, why don't you make a history check as you're looking at it, since you're a bard, and bards are historically relatively well storied.
I'm gonna have to use my inspiration on that.
You didn't have to, but yeah.
7.
7?
That die is expelled!
Nothing leaps out at you as being particularly, you don't identify it necessarily by its look, but when you pick it up, you can feel the magic coming from it. It's very obviously a
Can I go ahead and just
weapon.
cast Identify? I actually have that.
You can absolutely just go ahead and cast Identify.
I've literally never had it before. That's amazing.
As you whisper the words of the incantation and look the blade up and down, it occurs to you this is a true Forsaken elf blade. The elves of Termana are the only race of mortal beings that are known to have defeated a Titan without divine intervention. During the Divine War, they just mobbed a Titan and killed him. And it said during the end of that battle that their blades began glowing and just ripping into Churn's flesh. And no one's quite sure what caused it or how it happened. But a Forsaken Elf Blade is a +2 rapier with the unique power to ignore the damage resistance and damage immunities of any Titan or Titan spawn. Against any Titan worshiper, or creature with the Titan spawn subtype, it has advantage on attack rolls and inflicts 2d6 points of additional radiant damage on a successful strike.
Wow. Can you tell me what the item you told me that I was I picked up was?
I can. Give me half a second though, because it's not in the book that I opened. And I will send you the stuff for the Forsaken Blade momentarily.
I do have a +2 dagger or rapier if Alan would want that, but it's just a regular +2. That's part of the reason I was asking, was to make sure that it was even different.
I'm not even here.
I'm just getting her a present that looks pretty and fancy that I think she'll appreciate.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
you
take it and you keep it.
I don't want to be that guy.
She probably wouldn't even have used it because she loves her hammer so much. It's just an appreciation moment.
Mm-hmm.
Totally fair.
Do I need to cast Identify for that, or does she able to just do that?
Well, she recognized it,
cool.
recognized it by the inscription on it.
Cool.
And then while you're looking that up, Lulu will take one dagger for Alan and then go over to Jean, or how do you say it?
John.
Jean, and be like, so do you want some of these daggers for your hair?
Well, I definitely would like at least one because I left one in that goblin way back.
You take the rest.
And I need something to bring back to these people.
Do you need goo to bring back to the people, like to prove it's dead, or just?
Well, I need to prove it's dead. I don't want to bring back the goo because it's dead.
I have a story about worms in my crotch that I could tell you about.
Well, John is going to accept 2 of the daggers. One of them is for her, and one of them is to prove that she killed the blade beast, and she's going to just scoop some of the goo onto the dagger.
That's a good strategy.
As proof. That's the most proof she can get, really.
Is Ithrin trying to chase anything down here, or use any of these get any of these weapons or any of that stuff?
Ithrin, apart from the weapons, is there any way to sort of strip this thing down for parts?
I mean, you can, aside from scooping up the goo into a water skin.
Is the goo valuable?
I mean, it is the flesh of a relatively powerful Titan spawn. So there's almost undoubtedly some sort of ritual value to it.
Yeah, then I will scoop the goo into a water skin and plan to sell it or use it.
Right.
I'm not super interested in any of the weapons, because Ithrin uses a quarterstaff and a crossbow most of the time.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, neither one of those are really what's in here.
Yeah, so I'll just harvest the goo while everyone else is doing their thing.
We were super concerned watching her do this because she's watched her eat garbage. So it's please don't eat that. Please don't eat that. Ugh.
It's not edible, but it's valuable. I'm not just going to let it go to waste.
You start thinking about it.
I do have standards.
But in the back of your mind, Ithrin, you do realize, though, that if you were really hungry, you could probably stomach this. If you had to.
When her back is turned, she's probably like... Yeah, just, how does it taste?
How does it taste, Travis?
Imagine a chicken smoothie.
No, I've had chicken McNuggets before.
Yeah, I mean it's like the raw pink stuff. That's really what it is. This is why I run games, to see the face that Mal just made. So the Spear of the Redeemer I did just send you send to the group chat on Facebook, y'all. It is a +1 to attack and damage rolls. In addition, if you would drop to 0 hit points, you drop to 1 hit point instead when you're attacked. Alternatively, if an effect would kill you instantaneously without dealing damage, the effect on you is negated. In either case, the spear's power to protect you from death is expended, but it regains that ability each day at dawn. So it basically can save your life once a day.
That's awesome.
Not too shabby. So you all sort of get your winnings, your rewards for this, quest that you've gone on, and start making your way back into town. Is there any other business that you wanted to attend to before you start heading back into Leone?
I will check in with Mal. We're done here, right? We can go home now? Jean, sorry.
This chicken is done.
Excellent. So while you're sort of getting your stuff together, back in town, Haiku, what are you doing after you have executed this poor woman who is lying in a hospital bed?
I just go back to our little wherever we were spending the night at, and just basically let everyone know that basically I didn't die. I don't think anyone's there yet, so I'll just chill there for a bit.
Okay. You get back there, and Charlone is still there, probably at this point sitting out in the sort of breakfast area where you all ate earlier. I would assume like going over some notes, working on some flash, maybe like got a sketch going, something along those lines. And you see Haiku walk in, Charlene.
You give him the "what's up" nod.
I'll give them one back too, and I'll sit down and be like, "Hey, do you have any tattoo ink on you right now, and equipment to do that right now?"
I think Breck was out shopping, right?
Yes, Breck was out shopping.
Yeah, Breck's out shopping for more inks, so later today, I'm sure.
Cool, because I can only cast 2 spells a day, so I need to maximize as much as I can right now.
What are you thinking about?
I just want a free usage of Hex, essentially, that wouldn't take my spell slot. Which I have.
Yeah. Could we do something like that, Travis?
Yes, you would need to have the inks. You would need to have the time, and you need to have the caster. So
yeah, it's a level 1 spell, so it should be pretty easy, right?
Relatively. How much ink do you have presently?
Like 100 gold worth of rare inks.
And you're not a College of Needles bard, correct?
No.
Bringing up the rules here on what you need then. College of Needles, by the way, is in Yugman's Guide to Gelspad, which is now available at Drive Thru RPG. So it's 100. Okay, it's set based on the tattoo's rarity. I would say to create a Hex is a level 1 spell. So that would basically be like an uncommon tattoo. So you'd really need like 200 gold worth of materials. Unless, for example, you used...
I have Magecraft, which has the materials needed. So yeah. So we do have enough to do it.
Yep.
And then the time needed... I think I saw somewhere that it said you make 100 gold of progress per day.
Yes.
And Magecraft also halves
your time. So you could get that done like before sundown if you sat down and just started now.
Yeah. I hand him the book of art collection that I have that, unless you had a design in mind, but my book currently contains a bunch of new pirate flash art, some orc flash art, and some like really cool primordial like water inspired stuff.
I was thinking like a sacred geometry kind of thing. Like,
right on. Some of the celestial stuff might fit. I like flip through.
Get like thug life across your stomach, but in like primordial runes.
Yeah.
That actually sounds really sick.
Hopper liked that idea.
But yeah, I was just thinking like a sacred geometry on like hand.
Okay, yeah, cool. So those of you who have been out shopping, you've managed to contact a spellcaster who's willing to cast for you, and that was. Did I give you the price on the spellcasting service for that?
No.
Okay, and it was. Can you tell me what level spell locate creature is?
Level 1.
Is it? Okay. Then
locate object is level 1. Locate creature, locate person is level 3, sorry.
Okay. Person's 3, okay.
Oh, and also, Breck, if you don't have Magecraft yet, you should definitely buy that spell.
Magecraft. Okay.
It's a level 1 spell that halves the amount of material and time for crafting.
Okay.
And also gives you advantage on all crafting rolls.
That's awesome.
And you had just made that contact. You weren't like bringing that person back with you, right?
Yeah, because we went to the first tent, and then they were like, "Oh, well, if you come, like, weren't we going to do a deal with them, Milena? Some kind of, or was that yours? Was for the deal?
Mine was the deal that, like, I would get a better deal if I made something that impressed him.
Impressed him. Okay, so with us, we went to the first tent, which had like the pristine tattoo art spellcaster people. No, spellcaster people. They weren't there, so we found the bard. The bard was taking us somewhere.
Oh, I thought they were taking you up to the College of Lore.
Okay, yes, that's what it was.
Yep. Yeah. So, is there a material components cost to locate person?
I will tell you that. It's locate creature, right?
I think it's locate person.
Person? Oh, okay.
Could be wrong. If it's not person, it's creature.
No, it's locate creature. Getting a lot of spy network stuff when you Google locate person, just for all of you viewers out there. A bit of fur from a bloodhound.
Okay.
Is the
only material component?
Mm-hmm.
So you can probably get that for 10 gold. So you'd be looking at 60 gold per casting of the spell. For the actual spell.
Okay, that's not bad. So 60 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 60 times 8 is 480. We can do that.
Okay. So you make that deal and then head back to the spot, as it were, right? Or was there anything else that you wanted to do before you made your way back to the temple?
I sent you a text.
Okay. I will look at that text.
And then do they sell any scrolls? Because I want to look for a Magecraft scroll that my business partner warned me about definitely before we left for this trip.
Yeah, you can buy scrolls there.
Level 1 scroll?
So you'd be looking at 100 gold per scroll for level 1 spells.
So I can learn that one without having to like wait and prepare new spells that would just like always be prepared because I learned it, or would that just be added to my book?
You would just add it to your spell book, and then you would draw from your that you would work that into your normal spell preparations.
Okay. But is Magecraft normally a wizard spell that I'd be able to do on my own?
Yeah, so you could either learn it when you level, or you can learn it from the scroll. In the wizard class, it should have the costs of scribing a scroll into your spell book. I think it's like 100 gold per spell level, but let me double check that.
I might just wait till I level.
Yeah, you could also like buy the scroll as like, here's how I learned how to do it. Burn the scroll once, but then just add it when you. So it's 2 hour. Each level is 2 hours and 50 gold per level of the spell.
I'll just wait till I level. That'll be fine.
Okay. Cool.
But the text and then this thing and that's all we need.
All right.
Did they have? Sorry, I forgot. We also discussed supplies. Do they sell supplies too? Did we already look for those?
Oh, like for
ink?
the tattoo inks and whatnot?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I guess you can. Basically, you can decide like how much gold you're going to spend on ink. Knowing that Charlung has Magecraft, you can get twice as much mileage out of the ink.
Okay.
But so imagine 100 gold pieces per category on the chart. So like, common, uncommon, rare, very rare. Excuse me.
Okay.
So it's 100 gold per category worth of inks. So now your level 1, I believe level 1 to 3 are common.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. Okay. Looking creatures level 3, so common. Awesome.
See, let me double check that so I'm not talking entirely out of my tailpipe here. Yep, so a cantripper first level is common, second and third level is uncommon, fourth to fifth level is rare, sixth to eighth is very rare, and ninth level is legendary. But, then you'd have to also find somebody that can cast a ninth level spell.
So for third level, locate creature. Spellcaster.
The spellcaster fee will be 60.
And ink.
Your ink would be 200 per tattoo.
Total? Per tattoo. Jesus
but
Christ.
with Charlung's Magecraft, it would
be cut in half. So 200 times 8 is 1,600. Cut in half would be 800.
Right, but you would still need to pay the full cost for the spellcaster fee.
But for the spellcaster, so 800 plus 60 times 8 is 480. So that's 1,280. And we have 1,000 in the bank, 190 on loan, and then I have some extra money too. We can afford that.
All right.
But then we have no money. Is that what we want to do, or?
I think that's why I decided to do it with locate object.
Okay.
Because the idea that I had was that the pouches can find each other.
And that's a level 1 spell, right? Locate object.
Yeah, and
how much are pouches? If we bought the pouches and we bought the leather working tools, because I learned leather working.
Yeah, I was going to say we're both leather workers as well. So.
You can do it too? Awesome, perfect. So, and you're half cost because of your Magecraft.
What's the locate object range?
I will tell you that.
I don't think it's any better than locate creature.
I was concerned that it might be worse. Yeah.
It is 1,000 feet.
Oh, yeah.
And what's creature? Creature also 1,000 feet?
I thought it was bigger. It is Oh, yeah. 1,000 feet. Interesting.
I think it'd just be cooler to make sending stones or something, you know?
Can we tattoo sending stones?
I mean, yeah, you'd be giving everybody sending, basically.
What do we need? So, Charlong, for haste, how many people did you want to haste? Because I can just get the materials and we can just...
I say we just buy ink. Like, just buy ink. Like,
okay.
Having extra ink on hand is never going to be a problem for us, I think. Like, we're always going to want to do something with the tattoo, right?
Like, oh, crap, we have too much tattoo ink.
Yeah, and also we could just sell it to people, right? Like...
Yeah, and you can sell your services, too, and because you've got the Magecraft, you know, you're doubling your profit, effectively.
Yeah.
Okay, how much would 750 gold of ink buy?
750 gold of ink.
Right, you'd have effectively using if Charlong used Magecraft every time he did it, it'd be 1,500 gold. So you'd be looking at like 15 slots worth of ink.
15 slots, okay. Because Breck's not going to drain the bank for like generic supplies. He would for a mission. So just to buy more ink, we'll do 750 gold worth of ink. And then what I texted you about. And then we don't need to borrow the 190. We can just create a surplus and start tattooing and see what we need at that point. Okay. So I'll put that in my notes.
All right, cool. And so you come back in and you are, as you're arriving back, you've got the spellcaster lined up if you need them from the College of Lore. You walk in, you find Charlong, I assume, actively working on a tattoo on Haiku by the time they get back.
Oh, good. Okay.
And then, what would you like to do when you arrive back? Alan, are you going to go try to build something special for...
Yes.
Did you have something in mind?
I was wondering, I have a DM question. If I wanted to change, because I had, I bought Tinker's tools, or like I got proficient in Tinker's tools when I leveled up, and that hasn't come in handy. I was wondering if I could change it, maybe.
You could. What would you have in mind?
Jeweler's tools?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. You can swap those two out, no problem.
Awesome.
You've not built like any clockworks in game or anything like that yet, so sure.
Yeah, so I feel like if I know jeweler's tools, I can make really intricate weapons with like jewels in them. I feel like that would be really neat.
Yeah, and then you could start doing like go all Final Fantasy with it and start like enchanting gems and putting them in like materia slots.
That's super cool.
Yes.
You can have like a crown of rain devastation.
Oh, that'd be so cool though. Yes. And then I guess I'll start making the weapon that I want to make to impress the dwarf blacksmith that I so cockily said, like, I got this.
I want to go over and help Alland. I'll like pump the fire or like hand her prongs and things. I'll just be her little assistant.
Okay. Well, that'll give Alland advantage. So, Alland, why don't you go ahead and give me what would you like to make to impress them?
I want to make a sword.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and just give me let's do a dexterity. No, I lied. Let's do a strength plus your proficiency bonus. You may have advantage.
That was 19 already.
Right. And then you get
plus my proficiency bonus of strength. That's
right.
plus 3.
And you get advantage on the check as well because you have a helper.
Oh, I got a nat 20 the second time.
All right, excellent.
Good job.
So you like.
Thank you, helper.
You get out there and say.
Alan just goes.
Right.
You out there
and I'm
like,
oh my god! It's so great. She's so grateful. It's cool.
You're out like in the back lot behind the Temple of Enkili at the forge, like saying prayers to Krom and like, beating the sword flat and shit. And it's you craft pretty much like a masterfully crafted, a keen blade, as it were. It actually turns out really good, but it is pretty much the day's work. So whilst you are doing that, the rest of the crew makes their way back. I assume you're all going to stop back at the spot. Are you planning on Jean, how are you planning on getting a hold of these people that you owe or owed the money to?
Oh, I really thought that was going to be a DM question. Well, they found me once.
Right
I
on.
guess I'm just going to get drunk and hope they find me again.
Right. Will you accompany the rest of the group to the Temple of Enkili while you're waiting?
Well, I don't want to drink alone.
Ithrin will definitely drink with you.
Woo! Meet up with you! Breck sends you that from the alley where he's working.
Well, there does happen to be plenty of wine at the Temple of Enkili, and you sit down and start drinking. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but at least one of you, which of you had spoken to Rizzy earlier on?
Don't think that was Ithrin.
The bard who was looking for someone to help with their story.
Oh, that was me. Sorry.
Yep. Okay.
Wait, that's where the posing, right? And we're telling the most glorious. Oh, Brett's totally in on that too. Mm-hmm.
So while you're all sort of doing your work, Rizzy does show up at the temple just to start preparation because the festival kicks off tonight. So she really wants to be on top of it, and you start working on crafting a story. Is anyone going to help with that? With the actual like choreography and the creation of this epic tale that Rizzy would like to tell?
When Lulu helps with things like that, it doesn't always go so well. I mean, Lulu will help, but oh boy.
Olin, were you there when we were talking to the bard and she needed help with her story?
Mm-mm.
That wasn't you?
Was I?
I don't remember where this was then. Maybe I'm remembering it differently. Maybe it was
with
you
the
two. But
bard. We had to make a deal with the bard to get the information.
She's the one that took you to the Bard College, in fact.
Yeah. So all of you were there. We got a show to put on, girl.
Well, then it's not Lulu, so Olin can help.
Lulu can help too. It's great. We all got to stretch. We got to do our warrior poses.
Lulu will help if Breck asks her to help.
Breck will definitely be like, my lady, would you like to tell the story of just the most badass warriors from Scarlands? Woo! This would be so great. We gotta go up there and save the bards and show them how great we are. Olin's got her hammer, and she's gonna bring the resting Ironbread face and show like the stoicness of our journeys.
And yeah, Rizzy's just sort of like soaking up the conversation and really paying close attention and making notes of everything as you're discussing it. Is there anything in particular that anyone wants to offer as like a subject of the story?
We did fight a basilisk.
I feel like Breck is turning into Dandelion.
I would say I'd like to be a little more rugged than Dandelion, but I won't argue with the rest.
I mean, that's a low bar to clear.
Like Dandelion and the Witcher had a baby, I feel like that would probably be Breck.
I don't even know what to do with that.
It's okay. Breck knows what to do with it. It'll be fine.
There's the story of the ice people too, although I guess Lulu wasn't there though, but Breck was definitely there. The faraway land and the ice people.
Oh yeah, that's another option.
Yeah.
Yeah, is there a group preference, or does somebody want to take point on being this young bard's guide as they're crafting their story?
I mean, I'm pretty sure Breck just owned that, so.
Well, Breck would want the story of because at least with the basilisk we were all together, or we could do the evading cops in during the festival in the capital story too.
But
probably the basilisk. And then our most glorious bard went out there and told them of the stories of the land, and she was the wonderful distraction that allowed us all to get away. # Charlie. See, everybody gets an intro.
That's wonderful, but Breck is unfortunately not going to be able to actually provide that aid because Breck is outside working billows and shit.
That's true. Breck is very busy. Okay. It was Lulu's quest. Lulu could help with the details for the basilisk.
Okay, Lulu can help. Charlie can help too. She's going to bring in the bard to help the bard because she doesn't know what music
she's
is.
The bard translator.
Charlie, help us. Help.
Okay.
So we'll say Charlie's going to write like a soundtrack for this play. And Lulu is going to provide like the core context of the story. Meanwhile, Ithrin, Haiku is getting tattooed by Charlung. Ithrin is drinking with Jean and watching this all go down,
pretty much.
The critics,
occasionally heckling as she gets progressively drunker.
Okay. So you spend the day finishing up those activities. Get well into Jean and Ithrin anyway, get pretty well into their cups before the sun sets and the Night of Chronicles officially kicks off. Let's have, as you all sort of make your way out there and head down to the village square where the performances are being held. Let's have Charlie handle the performance check, or make a performance check to set the tone as the crowd gathers around to watch your crew, your performers, put on this story. Now, who all is going to be involved in the actual performance? Who's going to be delivering dialogue, acting? I'm assuming that Lulu will be part of this process. Is that safe to say?
Sure.
Obviously, Charlie's playing some music. Are Ithrin and Jean going to be actually involved in the performance itself? Are there going to be
the basilisk?
Hype man in the background?
I feel like Ithrin has drunk enough that she definitely wants to be on stage right now.
Okay.
Karaoke.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Christ.
I got a 26, Travis.
Excellent.
Nice. Wow.
I actually have a proficiency in lutes too, so can I just help Charlie play music?
Yeah, just accompany. Yeah. I don't know if there's going to be. I mean, you could crit, I suppose. So why don't you go ahead and give another roll, Charlie? Yeah. All right. So you take the stage. There's a large crowd. The place is Night of Chronicles is kind of like Woodstock for Leone. There's just at this point there's just bodies everywhere. It's shoulder to shoulder around the Pride Stone. The Pride Stone is a like 60-foot tall marble carving of the goddess Tennille the Huntress, standing with like a bow and arrow like drawn aimed out toward the east. And everyone's sort of gathered around it. There's a stage built at the base of it. And you're all up there, and Charlie starts playing, the intro song, and Haiku hops in with a melody on the lute. Lulu, you take the stage. Go ahead and give me, you can choose between either performance or athletics to act out this physical fight.
Athletics.
All right, go ahead and give me an athletics check if you don't mind.
18.
Beautiful. So you get up there and you start like flexing and working the crowd and kind of showing off, doing your best gladiator sort of. You're Russell Crowe out there in the middle. Are you not entertained? Who would like to be the basilisk in this fight?
I think that was Ithrin.
Ithrin should be the basilisk for
Excellent.
sure. Drunk
Ithrin.
I got you.
So Ithrin, do you have resistance or an immunity to being poisoned?
Against disease.
Okay, so no resistance whatsoever. Excellent. So we're going to just go ahead and assume that you are suffering from the poisoned condition during this due to alcohol.
Okay.
So you will have disadvantage on your rolls because you're drunk and clumsy. What would you like to rely on for that performance? Would you like to rely on like acrobatics to be hopping around and being all engaging, or do you want to do like an actual performance check? Would you like to?
So I have advantage on acrobatics. So how does that comport with being drunk? Like,
it cancels
can I be
out.
like,
It
okay,
cancels the disadvantage. Yeah.
all right. So I'll go ahead and do acrobatics.
Have like a sober moment on the stage.
Well, it's like the drunk learned behaviors. Like you practice.
17.
Oh,
So that's
nice.
19 total.
Damn!
Awesome. So you get up there and like as you're getting on the stage, like there's some stumbling. A couple of the priests of Enkili who thought that this whole ordeal was just very adorable, banded together to make you a basilisk costume. So like you stumble a little bit because you have like an extra set of legs sticking out of your butt that you're not used to having.
That's one way to put it.
On your way onto the stage, but once you're there, you kind of let the music take over and just dive into the performance, and you're able to, you don't miss any of the beats of the choreography, which is very fortunate because Lulu, while an amazing performer, not so great at pulling punches. So like you feel the wind off of a few of the swings, during and during all this, of course, Rizzy is sort of reciting this epic poem about what has transpired during this battle with the Sandstone Basilisk. Whilst that's going on, is there anything that Jean would like to do to add to the proceedings? You've been drunkenly watching this whole thing come together. We lost a Mike. Hopefully Mike will return before too long. But you've kind of been drunkenly watching this whole thing come together. Is there anything you'd like to do to add to it? Hop in and freestyle some rhyme alongside of it, or
Jean is doing some crowd work, getting everybody involved while she's also maybe pickpocketing a few people.
Nice, love it. Okay. So why don't we do I'll need 2 checks from you. I'll need a performance or deception, whichever you prefer. So go ahead and make that one first.
All right. I'm going to do performance.
Okay.
Did it roll? It didn't roll, did it?
I did, yeah. 13 on the performance check. So not too shabby, not too shabby. There's a lot going on the stage. You're certainly not, you're not like transcending the existing performance by any stretch, but you're absolutely not taking anything from it. You're playing tambourine. You're doing your bit. But let's see that sleight of hand check for all this pickpocketing that you're doing.
All right.
Yeah, see, the reason that you're just playing tambourine is because you're just deftly walking around like, just reaching in. And Charlie, you're in the unique position to sort of see this. Like everyone Jean passes, something valuable comes off of their person into Jean's pocket. Like it might be a coin purse. It might be a coin. It might be a ring. At least one person you see him grab some sort of, or see her grab some sort of like undergarment from, like as they're passing by. But definitely becomes clear to you that that Jean is an accomplished pickpocket. Nobody else really sees anything that's going on with that, as near as you can tell. So, the last person, is there anyone I haven't? Oh, so Alan, are you doing anything to contribute to this? Or are you just sort of sitting back and enjoying and letting it sort of occur around you because you were busy hammering on a sword all day?
Yeah, I'm just sitting there like, I probably have a drink, so I'm like, my drink is propped on my bicep. I'm just sitting there.
My bicep.
Just like.
It's an extremely enjoyable show. And you're sitting there watching it and having a good time. And a dwarven man sort of saddles up next to you. Big old tankard of ale in hand. And he's dressed pretty ostentatiously. Like this dude's like, there's a lot of that going around because there's bards up in here, and bards tend to go with flashier outfits and whatnot. But despite his advanced age and small stature, this dude's got a bit of like a prince, like artist formerly known as era vibe.
He has like a flamboyance.
Right, to his clothing and his presence. And you notice him sort of sit next to you and kind of look up and take a sip and look at you for a second, look back up. And then you notice probably, most of the crowd is still definitely tuned in on what's going on the stage. But you notice a surprising amount of people sort of look over at him and whisper to one another. Kind of like you would expect someone to do if they saw is that Matthew McConaughey standing over there? And he leans into you and says, "Did I not see you wandering around with some of these fine performers earlier today?"
I think you are correct. I feel like when he sits next to me, I'm just here, and I'm like nod, oh, I see.
Right. What's up? Yeah, he says.
Yeah, exactly.
He says, "That's a promising looking crew. I'll be giving an oration down at the mouth of the Stall Road in about a half an hour or so. Why don't you and your friends come down? I would love to see you there."
Okay.
Excellent.
I'll let them know.
Good. He takes a sip from the mug and says, "Ale," and hands you the mug, like he's getting ready, like he doesn't want the rest of it.
Sure.
You grab this.
Now I'm double 50 and I'm Edward 40 hands now.
Right. And like when you grab it, this is no like the waft of odor comes up from you, and there's no like this is not a standard dwarven ale. This is heavy stuff. There's something mixed in it.
Cool.
Go ahead and give me a perception check if you don't mind.
Okay. It's a 1, so
whatever it is smells good. Is that cinnamon? Is it?
It's cinnamon.
Then are you going to drink this ale that you were given?
I'm afraid.
Does Alden trust strangers? I mean, I feel like that's the first question.
I sniffed it. Like I sniffed it and I was like, it smells like cinnamon. And I'm just like holding both cups.
Right on.
Like I don't drink it. I'm just like, it was awkward. Like I didn't know what to do. So I take your ale.
Sure. Any sort of
I have your trash. You know.
He sort of walks off. And I mean, it was almost a full tankard that he handed you. And then, Charlene, what are you doing whilst all this is going on? Are you doing anything to contribute to the performance? Are you trying to do anything under the cover of the performance? Or are you just sitting back and chilling, like with Alland, perhaps?
I mean, I could do some, like, fun thing with control water or something. I don't know.
That's true, yeah.
Oh, that would be neat, yeah. And so... All right, let's explore that for a second because
which also means that I would be glowing because of the bane.
Right, that's true.
That's cool. Then you're like the mood lighting, and you're like the fog in the back. You're like the head techie for the stage performance. That's so cool.
See, I was more thinking like the dancer on the side of the stage that's got like glow sticks and shit. Like, yeah.
Instead of like the fire jugglers,
right?
Like, instead of juggling fire, I'm juggling like water.
Oh, that's dope.
That's awesome.
All right, cool. Go ahead and give me a what's your spell casting ability? Is charisma, right?
Yeah.
Do you have performance?
I mean, I'm not skilled in it, but I'll take an unskilled performance.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah. Unless there was a skill that you thought might apply.
Damn.
That'll work too. Yeah. So like,
great partner, boom.
Between all these roll results, you really are like turning this performance into sort of the toast of the evening. Once you finish walking through this sort of epic recreation of the battle, and the whole performance itself is probably 5 minutes. Right, it's not a whole lot of time, but by the time you've completed it, the crowd are on their feet, hooting and hollering. People are already like people who are stepping away are starting to already. That Rizzy is an amazing bard. Look at how she coordinated all that and da da da. It's really clearly a hit. And as you all sort of come off the stage and get together and are having a congratulatory, high fives and hugs and whatnot, and Rizzy's just beaming. Alan, you see them all sort of step off the stage. Are you going to rejoin them, or are you going to hang back, or what's your thoughts and theories on that? You going to let them know that they were invited to this other thing, or?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Alan kind of walks up. Rejoins the group. And as you see Alan approaching Jean, as you're kind of walking up from the other way, you also see the folks who you were indebted to, like off in the crowd, kind of just watching. Looks like maybe they spotted you, like they're aware that you're there. So what would you all like to do?
So I tell them that this flamboyant, seemingly famous guy invited us to like the after party or whatever.
Rizzy's eyes sort of, not that they can get much bigger because she's very like dialed up to 11 already right now, but she's like, was it an old dwarf guy?
Yeah,
in like a purple like gown.
Yep, that's the one.
That's Dradaki. That's the bard I was talking to you about. I would love to go see his show. Yeah, we should gather a coin and get together.
Breck's gonna like run up to her and like pick up the bard and like spin her. Fate has brought us today to tell this most glorious story. And aren't you just so lucky you wandered upon us? The most glorious.
You're suddenly Bill and Ted.
Right. Totally awesome, dude. It's right.
Be awesome to each other.
Be awesome. Exactly. Go Rizzy.
In the midst of this revelry, Jean, the two people that you're indebted to start sort of making their way over to the group.
Perfect. And Jean will politely excuse herself.
All right.
To go meet them in the middle of somewhere.
All right. So yeah, I mean, you can walk right up to them, like right in front of the Pride Stone, which is good because there's a whole big ass crowd. So chances are fairly good they won't stab you. Yeah, go ahead and make a stealth check.
24.
Right on. What's Jean's passive perception?
Amazing tonight.
Jean's passive perception is 13.
Yes, you absolutely do not notice Haiku walking like behind you, like mimicking step by step, like hiding, using you to hide.
Also, my cloak is up.
Okay. And they walk up and they say, "Is the job done?"
Oh, the job is done, sweetheart. Here you go. And Jean kind of pulls out the goo-covered dagger, and this should be satisfactory. You enjoy the festival now. And she tries to.
They say
herself quickly.
Just one moment. We're square debt-wise, but I would like you to put your ear to the ground. Because it seems that while you were out resolving our situation, my cousin that was in the care of the librarians met an untimely demise at the end of an assassin's blade. Now, I would pay quite dearly for the information that would lead me to the folks responsible.
Well, that's a tragedy, and I offer my condolences for your loss. How dear is dearly?
You bring me information that leads me to that person. Once I have my hands on them, I will give you 1,000 gold. If you bring me that person's head, I will give you 500 gold. And if you bring me that person alive, how does 2,000 gold sound?
2,000 gold sounds like a warm afternoon. I'll be seeing you, gentlemen.
They turn and walk away. You rejoin the group?
Oh yeah, because what else am I doing, really? I mean, she's gonna investigate, but I mean, these people are like the talk of the town right now, as far as she's concerned, and she just got like good and well paid off of their performance, so she's gonna kind of ride that and see where it goes.
Absolutely, and in fact, during that whole affair, you were able to acquire in goods and coin 180 gold pieces from your illicit worth of stuff from your illicit pickpocketing.
It just comes from prayer and clean living.
Where was Haiku at on that one? Haiku's all about the pickpocketing.
Haiku was
funny you should say that. Because do I see any fat coin purses hanging off the guys that were talking to Jean?
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Sorry. Like 15.
Oh yeah, you do. But you also notice that next to, they each have a relatively sizable coin purse on their pocket. And you also notice that one of them, next to that coin purse, has like a billfold. Usually used, people who are like traveling on business will often carry one that'll have like papers of their origin, things like that. If you're going into areas that are like Calastia, you often, and you're not human, you want papers that prove that you're not someone's property, for example. Those are carried in billfolds. But you see the billfold, and you notice specifically there's a marking on that billfold that you recognize as belonging to the Thieves Guild known as the Scaled. The Scaled are basically the largest Thieves Guild on Gelspad. They have outposts in every city. They are engaged in every level of illicit business you can imagine. From like, like smuggling livestock to, assassination to, extortion, government espionage. The only thing that they don't truck with is slavery.
Interesting. All right then. I'm not gonna loot it just because I feel like they'd have eyes on them, being like in that big thieves guild. So I'll just leave them be.
Okay. All right. So the group sort of regroups, and from there, is there anything that you wanted to do? Are you all going to head down to the bards or to the dwarfs' performance, or were there other things that you'd like to take care of? Is there anything you want to do while while they're off away from the rest of the group? Any discussion that you want to have, things like that?
Ithrin wants to know if Alan's going to finish her drink.
The one that smells like cinnamon.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, here. It's from that flamboyant dude.
Glug glug.
Oh.
All right, you check it down. Give me Constitution.
From a stranger.
Give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
I mean, Alan grew as a person. She warned her. Congratulations.
That's true,
that was
yeah.
good.
16.
All right, so here's the thing. It's not like it's necessarily like spiked or anything like that. But what it is, though, is it's a dwarven ale that has like a 50% grain alcohol mixed in with it. So it's like half dwarven ale, half Everclear, pretty much.
I'm going to have to carry Ithrin.
So, Ithrin, you gain a level of exhaustion from...
Joan's a big, strong lady. She'll take care of you, girl.
In addition to being poisoned, you are you're just drunk as fuck at this point. Like a bad, like middle school grape Mad Dog 2020 drunk. You are.
I feel like Alan has been watching this with a lot of like unusual interest as she like gave it to her and she's drinking it. Alan's just kind of like.
Well, if it's to be carried, Lulu will carry Ithrin because she's really small anyway.
Ithrin has a date.
I mean, but she's a stranger. We should supervise. You're right.
I feel like Ithrin will tell stories like, hey, remember when I was like that basilisk and everybody loved us? That was so cool.
Yeah, And before we leave, Lulu will give Alan the fancy. We killed that beast, and I got this for you because I figured you would like what was it called on there, Travis?
It's dagger, right?
Yeah, the decorations.
Oh, Yes, like the on the dagger, yeah, like the engravings.
Yeah.
For me?
Yeah.
Really?
Because I know that you were going through a lot back there, and I figured hardware makes you happy.
And then I give you like a quick hug, and then I go. You know, just like
it was like, oh my god, what
never happened. That never happened.
What happened?
And as you're sort of awkwardly making your way down the stall road, Rizzy also does give each of you 2 gold pieces for your assistance with her performance. And she says, obviously if there's a purse to be won at the end of the night, I'll happily share it with you. But as you're making your way down, the dwarf that you had spoken with earlier calls out to you, Alan, and says, do you have my gift?
The dwarf that I talked to, the blacksmith?
Yeah, because you walk past their tent as you're heading down towards where Taki is.
I probably do have the sword on me, right?
Yes. I would assume that you had brought it with you.
So I show him, I excuse myself from everybody else. Like, hey, I'll be right back, guys. And then I show him the sword that I made, and it has like all this kind of neat leaf pattern filigrees like on the hilt and on the handle, and it has a space for a enchanted jewel, like a Thundercats.
Nice. Like, you made me a sort of omens. That works. He takes it and sort of gives it a couple swings, and then hits a crate with it, and just slices through this crate, and hands it back and says, "It's fine work. I'm happy to provide you materials at a discounted rate."
Thank you. It's nice to be appreciated.
And he reaches into a pouch underneath his table and pulls out a ring. And this ring has a hammer. Looks almost like a signet ring, but it has a hammer on it that's very stylized, very reminiscent of a Mjolnir, necklace that somebody would wear or something like that, right?
Nolan's thinking, I like hammers.
He says, this is a symbol of my family, and if you present it to any Kelder dwarves, they will deal with you as though you are one of their own in terms of pricing and hospitality.
I can have that? Are you giving it to me?
Yes, it's for you. You've done impressive work.
I'm honored. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let me know if you need more ore. He puts his feet up and lights a pipe.
I tell him, let me know if you need any weapons made.
Will do. And I assume the rest of the party continued on while that was going?
Mm-hmm.
So
and then I jog a little
back
to
and
catch
follow.
up to.
Frank is trying to get all of Lulu's attention right now. He's riding the theater high.
Right on. And as you get down to the south side of the Stall Road, you see there's a group gathered around in the middle of the road. But as you approach, 2 of the Manticora city guard see you walk up and start escorting you around the edge of the crowd. And they say, Bronzeleaf has said you were coming and that we should make sure you get a good seat. And when you arrive in the spot where everyone is sort of standing, you see there's like a campfire that's been built like straight up in the middle of the road. And this dwarf is sitting on it. And he's sitting on a log that's across from the campfire. And people are just sort of standing around in rapt attention as he's speaking. As he's speaking, there's a illusion floating in front of him. It's about this high or so, of this beautiful elven woman in like a gossamer like flowing robe. And he's crafting this story. He's talking about lost love during the Divine War, and how he had shared many battles next to this elven beauty. And at first, their differences as people were a deterrent to him. They frightened him. He was nervous of her. But as they prepared to enter some ancient ruins with some that belonged to creatures lost to history, that he professed his love for her, and she returned his affections. And in that moment, it was the first time since he set forth from the Broadreach forest that he felt safe and love and warmth, and felt like something was worth fighting for. As gods and titans were clashing around him, this woman's love finally made things make sense. And then you can see kind of everyone is just very engaged and hanging on his every word, as he goes on to explain that when they got into the ruins, they found this ancient beast, the likes of which he'd never seen, and to this day he does not know its origin. That it had flesh crafted of the darkest onyx material with sharp edges, and there was nothing smooth. All of its joints and its limbs were angular and unnatural. And he and his love engaged in battle with this beast. And as the beast struck out, as it was on its dying legs, it struck out against him to try to slay him. And the woman leapt in the way, and the beast's bite turned her to crystal, as she remains to this very day still in that cave. Her sacrifice enabled him to slay the beast while it was preoccupied, but he would trade every day from that till this for her to have survived. And when he gets done with this sort of epic sort of recounting of this battle from the Divine War, crowds crying and people are clapping, and you can see Rizzy is like starstruck and completely overwhelmed. And he puts the illusion away and quietly gets up and walks over to Rizzy and takes her hand and says, I saw your performance earlier. It was very good. I am Dradaki Bronzeleaf. I've noticed you and your associates here around town, and I wanted to see if I might inquire after your services. According to your performance, you are quite the heroic bunch. I'm an old man at the end of his days. I would like to go home. I have not been to my ancestral lands, the lands of my birth, since before the divine. Well, since I left to serve in the divine. I would like to hire your group to escort me to the Broadreach Horizon. Now, I am a man of means, so in addition to whatever expenses the journey incurs in terms of supplies, I am in a position to pay each of you 5 gold pieces per day for my to preserve my safety on my way home. If that is something that would be of interest to you. And he barely finishes that sentence when he's like, yes, I'll do it. I'll have to ask the others, but I am in. And she kind of turns to the rest of you.
I just say one thing before we start talking. As soon as this guy was performing and talking to basically romanticizing like war and stuff like that, I kind of just got disgusted and checked out. So I'm just pickpocketing everybody watching the performance.
All right, go ahead and give me that sleight of hand check.
Okay. I'm gonna roll inspiration because that's really bad. That's way better. That is a 16.
So funny story, because of the special veteran connection that I have, and my vet buddy freaked out when we talked about war, I followed him, and I just put my arm around his shoulder walking around. What are we doing, buddy?
Not if I roll a high stealth check, you don't.
I feel like the vet connection gives me the alert about veterans in the area. So you have to take it out with the Scarred Lands deity here, because wingmen look out for each other, my friend.
I'll let you make a I'll let you make a stealth check. What's your passive perception, Breck?
Your passive perception. Let's see. I'm not sure what page that's on.
That's an 18, just in case.
It's your passive perception is your perception score plus 10.
Didn't you already roll? Did you roll again?
No, that was a stealth check this time.
Oh, okay. 14.
Yeah. All right. So you kind of have an eye on Haiku, and you go to intercept him, and he steps around a person, and then you can't find him for a few moments, and then you see him kind of poke back up, and you're able to intercept him.
Buddy!
While you are off of her radar, though, you do manage to get your hands on say 60 gold.
Damn.
Breck doesn't care about that.
Haiku does, though.
Yeah.
That's fine.
He didn't ask you.
the guards absolutely do not notice.
Okay.
But
Good follow-up question.
Jodaki says, I would like to set off at first light. I would love to be in the Broadreach within the next 2 weeks if we can manage it.
Side question, is that the same place about the note where those people were going? About the curse? No? Okay. Well, Breck's not there, so no vote.
I'm not sure I remember what you're talking about.
With the curse, the people, I was in the library and they had the secret note that they had to go somewhere in a certain amount of time.
They were headed to they were going to the Gleaming Valley. And so you know the area pretty well because you are from the Gleaming Valley. So you're aware that, Breck, that the Broadreach Horizon, so if you imagine Leone is to the northwest of the Broadreach Horizon. As is the Gleaming Valley. It's kind of between where you're at almost. So you would need to go down through into the edge of the Gascar Peaks and cut over. Now you know that the Broadreach Horizon is a sliver of the Hornsaw Forest that is no longer corrupt. Getting there is there's wilderness, there's probably Titan spawn. There are a few dangers in traveling there. It's not a very well-traveled path. Once you're there, there's definitely dangers. You know that the Broadreach elves tend to be somewhat territorial and not particularly fond of outsiders, partially because they've done a lot of work to restore this part of the forest and they don't want people fucking it up for them. But you assume that traveling with a Broadreach dwarf, they would probably be fine. Why don't you go ahead and make a history check as well, Brett?
Okay. History. Oh, good. Breck's good at history. +6. It is 15, 6, 21. Ooh.
So you're also aware that the Broadreach dwarves, the fact that Dradaki was not in the Broadreach horizon when Mormo died, or was not in the Broadreach forest when Mormo died, is probably the only reason that he's there, that he's present. Most of the Broadreach dwarves, shortly after Mormo's destruction, were taken by the necromancers of Glividatel and pressed into slavery. They stayed enslaved for about a century until the Broadreach elves came back. When the Hornsaw became corrupted, the way that the Broadreach elves cleansed the horizon was that they spiritually joined with the forest and used their own magic to clean that area. And when they left was when Glividatel came in and enslaved the dwarves. They had always been sort of friendly, somewhat familial with the dwarves, but they were like, we're going into the woods. The dwarves were like, fucking good luck. And then the dwarves got enslaved. So when the Broadreach elves came out of the woods and found that their friends had been taken away, they, being the only people in history to have successfully pulled this off, raided Glividatel and broke their friends out and came back out. And so now the dwarves that lived through that are free, but they're a fraction of the population they once were. Because many of them died while they were enslaved and then were reanimated by the necromancers to be used as cannon fodder.
So they just want protection going to this place?
Yep, they just want a safe escort to the Broadreach horizon.
Did they say what they want there or nothing? It's just, I'm going on an adventure and I want protection through this dangerous area.
He wants to retire there. He's
an old man.
He's an old man, and he wants to go back to the land of his birth.
Yeah, like he wants to die at home, basically.
Blue is down.
Yeah, Etherin from like her little drunken puddle in the corner just holds 2 thumbs up.
Like while puking.
I misinterpreted Haiku running off to steal things, and I'm like, the war, and that's cool, and we're gonna stick together, and I'm like trying to like emotionally comfort my man friend of battle, even though that, I understand, Roz knows, has nothing to do with what he's doing, but that's what I'm doing, and when we come back, I'll be down for this adventure.
All right. And it occurs...
Lulu will yell to Haiku, Haiku, you want to make money?
I'm just kind of checked out of this conversation already, just based on like the performance. So I'm just like, whatever.
That means he wants to make money. Yep, he's good.
Excellent. Any thoughts from Charlie? Questions from Charlie or Charlung? If Charlung is there, I know that you went AFK for a minute. Or Alan?
Nope. All good.
I heard 5 gold a day, and I'm cool. All right.
My only thing is are we going to stay around long enough to cash in on the fact that there's a giant festival of people that would probably want tattoos?
He says...
Yes, that's funny.
Well, actually, he says, I said first light, but first light at the day that the festival ends. So you'll have the rest of the festival to make some money and whatnot.
Perfect.
Awesome.
And at that point, it becomes very clear to Jean that accompanying on this mission, sounds dangerous and scary, but also will get in the way of that fat purse you can get if you can track down this murderer.
So 5 gold a day is really chump change compared to 1,000 gold in a day if I can get some information.
Right. So, maybe some good luck. See you next times are exchanged. You finish out the rest of the of the festival. Taking in the good times, making a tidy profit on tattoo work, acquiring. So you'll essentially double the money you let go of in tattoo supplies. You'll be able to pick up during the downtime sort of any mundane equipment you would like to. And if you have the money available, you can perform whatever tattoos you need on the rest of your group.
I have a question. How much of the adamantine did I use to make the gift for the dwarf? And then do I have to buy more?
You probably used it all on the sword. 5 pounds ain't a whole lot. So you're able to acquire some more, but you're able to turn some profit. So we'll say that you'll be able to leave with 25 pounds of adamantine in your.
And the same amount of gold that I have now.
Yes.
Awesome.
And Sarah,
I want to say I also gave Charlon like 140 gold for the tattoo.
Okay. And what were you saying, Breck? Sorry?
Just for Charlie, she's the group treasurer, so we minus 750 for ink, and then we just made back 1,500 for the group fund and tattoos, I guess. Unless, Charlon, did you and I just want to split that? I assumed it went back to the group so we could do a group tattoo.
Yeah, sorry, I'm muted. I think we should. I think we should still end with like 750 worth of ink and just not have spent the 750.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's buy another 750 worth.
Oh, okay. So we're charging the customer for the ink and supplies. Okay, makes sense. Yeah. And so I'm going to tell Haiku, I have a tattoo for you, and you're going to love it. And it's button activated, so you got slapped. The
750 you gave us, we gave you back.
Okay, so we're just even.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's what I thought you meant, but.
And then, do you and I split the other 750 then?
Well, we just have 750 worth of rare and arcane crafting materials, with which to give out to the.
Keeping.
So I guess we have. Yeah, we have a party fund of 750 worth of tattoo crafting supplies.
And
nice.
And you were going to give, Breck, you were giving something to Haiku during this time.
Absolutely. It's button activated, so it's going to go right there on your saddlebag, because that's like a fun military tradition is you got to have like an awkwardly placed tattoo, whether or not you tell other people, and then you're going to love it. So sit down.
What is it? I'm not going to just take a tattoo. What is it?
I know. This is the bond, bro. No. It's going to be for all your weird shit you do. Don't even tell me what it is. You're going to love it. No. It's going to be great.
No.
What if I tell Alland and then Alland approves it? If Alland approves it, will you get it?
No.
But it's so cool, bro.
I'm not getting it.
What if I give you a tattoo and people couldn't track you? Ooh.
No.
You don't want that? I feel like that's what you want. Okay. So I'll tell them I got blur. So when you have blur, your whole body, your essence, everything becomes blurred and shifted and wavering. Anyone who can see you, everything has disadvantage. Nobody can come after you when you do your weird shit. And then, unless I have blind sight, but you're no fun, so I don't even know if I should do it now. It's going to be a fun thing.
That's fine. I have mirror image. I'm good.
Okay, that's cool. I'm gonna give Blur to Tan because I feel like Tan can use that.
All right. You have a blur tattoo ready to go if Tan's down to take it. And
yeah, I understand she has her extracurricular activities going on right now, so we'll check in when she gets back. And then if anybody else wants it, I have just Blur available at this point.
Nope. Is there any other business that anyone else needs to conduct before we close the book on this initial foray into Dead Man's Rest?
I'm good.
Excellent. So, just to wrap things up, you spend the rest of the festival having a grand old time. I will sit down at some point in the interim with Tori and figure out what exactly Tan has learned and gone through. But this is where we come to a brief hiatus for our Scarland story. We are going to take a few weeks off of this campaign, and when we return, we will return with the Journey to the Broadreach. But in the intervening weeks, we will still be playing, as we are going to bring back our characters from Extreme Drowis for a limited edition adventure. That'll probably run, between 4 and 8 sessions or so, something like that. See where everyone has gone. There's some art that I believe will be being shared soon from Mike and Milena of the updated look of where the ladies have been, where ladies are at now, I should say. And super exciting stuff. Any questions, comments, or complaints or concerns about the session from tonight? About how things went? Cool. I had a great time. Mal, thank you again for joining us and for bringing some sass to this situation. We're going to go ahead and do our outros and promotional stuff. Let's start with you, Mal, since you're the guest and all. Why don't you go ahead and tell us who you are, what you do, who you're playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, and anything you would like to promote, please.
I am Malachi Hoskins. I'm he, him. I play Jean. She is she, her. This was lovely. Thank you for having me. I haven't really flexed this muscle in a long time, so it was super nice. You can find me at Malachi Hoskins on most things, specifically Instagram, where you can find a link to my poetry book, Outside Tomorrow, available for direct sales, $10. I also have a Patreon in that link. I have a whole link tree. I do things, I make words. Sometimes people pay me to do that. So if you're interested in that, hit me up on Instagram.
Beautiful. And I've thrown that link up in the chat. Thank you so much. We don't get to see enough of each other, so it's really cool to be able to play with you. I've had a blast having you here. And I have a sneaking suspicion this is not going to be the last time that you're at this or another gaming table that I am running. So thank you for making the time to be with us. It's been a hoot.
Anytime and always.
Next up, let's do Charlung. Charlung, please give us your pertinent details.
Hey, I'm Corey Frang, they, them, playing Charlung, also they, them. And I'm a software developer working on video games lately, most importantly, Caves of Qud, QUD. It's pretty awesome. We're on itch.io, Steam, all the good stuffs. Look for us where games are games.
Sweet. Yeah, definitely pick up Caves of Qud. I have an intention of diving into that myself here in the coming weeks. I have a couple of work things to button up, and then I need some video game time that's good for the soul. And I've heard Caves of Qud is that.
It is.
Yeah, definitely be checking that out. Next up, we have Alan. Give us your pertinence, please.
Hi guys, my name is Milena, she, her. I play Alan, also she, her. And in real life, I'm an illustrator in Illinois. Like Travis said before, Mike and I work on the art for this D&D, and we also worked on a book that's out that you can purchase. Links. Yes. I know Rebels will put it out. And I am Milena Deneno everywhere. And I do have a Patreon. So if you like stickers and postcards, check me out there. And that's it. That's me.
Rock and roll. Thank you. And next up, even though the pictures are out of order because I didn't fix it as good as I thought I did, we have Ithrin, who is sitting in Lulu's spot. So, Ithrin, go ahead and give us your pertinence, please.
I'm eating your lunch, Lulu. Hello, my name is Rachel. I play Ithrin. We're both she, her. I am Stolen Fires pretty much everywhere. Tomorrow you will see me and the sadly absent Tori. Hopefully she'll be there tomorrow. We're going to be playing Changeling the Dreaming. It should be fun. It's going to be Changeling versus Technocrat Slugfest.
Nice.
And then fun. Yeah. And then on Sunday, I'm going to be at Vorpal Tales. Sunday night, they do short run horror games, and so we're going to be starting a cult game.
Oh, nice.
With a pre-gen, so I'm really looking forward to that. The cult game should be 3 or 4 sessions, and then after that, we're doing Mage 20. So
always a fun game.
Yeah, so lots of cool stuff.
Excellent. And yeah, you can check out that Changeling the Dreaming at twitch.tv/The Onyx Path. And the Vorpal Tales is just twitch.tv/Vorpal Tales, correct?
Yep.
And they do a couple of games.
Yeah, they've got like a real full schedule. It's all tons of fun.
Yeah, they do a couple games on the Onyx Path channel as well, including the Scion Ask the Mythos that's running right now, right?
Yes, and then it's going to be Dragon, and that is on Tuesday evenings.
And that is also on Kickstarter right now. Both of those books kickstarting together. It's a new approach for Onyx Path to take to do two major books at the same time, but it's going pretty well. They're currently at 96,000 on a $35,000 goal. So lots of stretch goals have already been unlocked. There's lots more in the mail. You're going to want to go over there and back the Scion Kickstarter because you'll be able to get access to all sorts of neat extra stuff if you grab it now. And there's still plenty of time to get involved, so please do. Next up, that brings us to good Lord, I really did mess up these things. We've got Haiku, who is in Ithrin's spot. So, Haiku, please give us your pertinent details.
Hey guys, I'm Mike Mutant playing Haiku, both he, him. Also sorry for messing up the things. My Wi-Fi crapped out. And
it really is all your fault, Mike.
It really is. But yeah, anyway, I am a child-based artist, comic artist specifically. Me and Milena do the art for this channel, along with the Frost Sons of Fenrilik book. But other than that, I have my own comic called The Freaks up on my Patreon, patreon.com/Mike Mutant. Upload every Wednesday. Page just went up a couple hours before this game, actually.
I did want to congratulate you on getting your page up before the game this week.
Yeah. It happens every now and then, but it's cool. But yeah, that's me.
Excellent. And definitely check out The Freaks. It's a cool book. And then next up we have Lulu, who is sitting in Haiku space, and then I think we're back to everybody being where they're supposed to be. But so Lulu, please give us your pertinence.
Okay, Ithrin just got so drunk that it just affected everything. That's what it was.
Yep.
Right. The booze caused a shift.
Exactly. Hi, I'm Allie. I don't have anything cool going on with this. I am currently traveling for work to help with COVID stuff, so that's kind of fun, but that's the only thing that I have going on right now. So other than that, Lulu's super excited for bonding with Olin.
Nice. Yeah.
Olin is surprised that she is not still like at Lulu.
It's good to see you two putting aside your differences. And yeah, please travel safely for work as you're, trying to fix COVID. Don't get sick. And then next up we have Charlie. Charlie, please give us your pertinence.
I am Sarah Scharneber. I play Charlie. We're both she, her. I'm an author, and I have a YouTube channel where I talk about writing, and then we do like writing sprints and all that crazy stuff. And then I have books on Amazon, and and I play video games on Twitch sometimes, and I say bad words. That's it.
Occasionally, there's booze involved.
There was a lot of booze involved yesterday.
You were so loud. You were so loud.
It was so loud. I'm glad we don't have neighbors.
Just screaming at it was fun. And the link to your Patreon is in the chat, and I'm putting your YouTube in there now as well. And while I'm grabbing those up, Breck, please give us your pertinence.
Hi, my name's Roz. I'm she, her, play Brick, he, him. Brick is so excited to have all his friends back together, helping out Olin in the shop, chatting up Lulu, see how she's been. I heard you can bake them cookies now, girl. Good job. Trying to hang out with her vet friend, Haiku, who still has these emotional walls up, but that's okay. We're going to break through those because we've been through the conflict together, and that's just, it happens. It's fine. I'll wait for you, bro. Charlong and I are making smart business decisions. Really appreciate that. And Rachel and I are closer than ever, Ithrin, because of our adventure. Super cool. And really hoping for this Jean thing. We're going to see how that happens. Breck is now a shipper of Ithrin and Jean. That's cool. And Charlie is like the rock star of the century. It's like that 80s song that everybody plays, like the final countdown is going to be Charlie's song all through Scarred Lands now.
Nice.
5 minutes. Everyone's going to know her, and Breck is so proud.
Love it. Love it. And thank you so much for being here, and thank you for your service and your awesomeness, too. And I guess that leaves me, right? My name's Travis, he, him. I'm the game master for this show. When I'm not running this show, I have another show I run on Mondays on this channel called Scarred Lands: A Family Affair, which they are currently in the Festering Fields, and they will be exploring some of the Scarred Lands stuff. So you'll still get some Scarred Lands content from me on Twitch while we are off being in the Underdark and All Points Beyond in the coming weeks. Make sure you've subscribed so you don't miss any of those things. The big thing I would like to promote today is that we have Yugman's Guide to Gelspad. The collected volume has finally hit Drive-Thru RPG. So I would highly recommend you go pick that up. That's got some new rules, new class options. I think some of you might be playing options from it, but there's also a new approach to peoples and heritages in there that I'm really excited for. I'm really excited to see what people think of. So it's kind of the biggest setting expansion that's come out for Scarred Lands for 5e. So I really would recommend picking that up and telling everyone you know to pick it up. We will be back here for this show in 2 weeks' time. But we'll all be drow. It'll be fun. In the meantime, please take care of yourselves and one another. Make sure you wash your hands and wear a mask. And don't forget to lean on your elected representatives we have an unprecedented opportunity to drag our country out of the Dark Ages. But it requires us not resting on our laurels. We have a chance now, so please use that chance. Lean on your reps, make sure that everyone is getting justice and that people are getting what they need to make America not suck again. Take care. Love you all. We'll see you again real soon.
Bye.
Bye.